What's up?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hippoppington with Kim, and the crew.
Yeah, who's in the crew today, though?
We have some random people around.
Yeah, we always have a little
GT
random
here
crew.
From Connecting the Dots on Innovative Black Station, along with Jay Black.
Yeah.
Our cameraman.
The crew's always in the building, whether you hear from them or see them or not. They're always in the building.
They're always here.
In the back telling us to be quiet and stop next. Or
sometimes they'll be on the phone, and sometimes they'll be next to us.
It's the most disagreeable crew I've ever met before, but
yeah,
I think I'm always right anyway. But let's just get into what we're getting into, okay?
So this week we're gonna talk hip hop fashion.
We're talking fashion,
and also we're gonna have some news. What's Poppington?
Exactly.
And Kim,
we're gonna introduce you to Dear Hip Hop.
Dear Hip Hop, our new segment where Kim writes her letter to hip hop.
I don't write my letter to hip hop. People write the letter to me. Dear Hip Hop is like a person. So it's like if hip hop was a person, like what would you ask hip hop? And then, this is how we're going to bring y'all involved. So we want y'all to, give them the emails so that when we start telling you stuff like, you can contact us here. It's just we want to hear your feedback on what we ask and what we're talking about.
So you can email us at hippoppington@gmail.com with any information that you may want to contribute, anything you want to add, or for sponsorships. Also, you can reach us on all social media networks at Hippoppington, HIPPOPPINGTON. Could be a song.
Probably. Now that we got the money out the way, because that's what we're trying to get to, let's get into this fashion. I really want to talk about the emergence of fashion today. Okay. And like all these new stores and like everybody got a t-shirt line, like, which I think is dope. Everybody's
Absolutely.
able to, open up, the market, and we are now selling our own product again. And I just think it's super dope. Like, first of all, I want to shout out to those who, pretty much inspired all of us and paved the way. Dapper Dan.
Yes.
Shout out to him. I know he's got something with Gucci now, right? Like they've
he has his own
to him after.
He has his own store in Harlem.
Dope.
Gucci is letting him design and collaborate with them on some legitimate business now. There's no, back in the day, he always made his own.
Yeah.
And then they started to copy him. And then once people started to realize that his urban brand was being brought to mainstream fashion in New York, they said, hey, maybe we need to bring him in. Yeah. And so that's what he's doing.
After they sued him, apologized to him, and then came back. But again, it just shows you how big our culture is, inspiration on fashion. I mean, so many different things have come into fashion from the beginning to the end. I don't want to forget to shout out Tisha Camp. Did you see Tisha?
Oh my God. She's killing me. That is so dope. First of all, Tisha Campbell is Pam from Gina.
She's Gina.
From Martin.
Word.
And she has a new song out, and her video is off the chain.
I didn't think it was real when I first saw it.
I was like, is that her?
Yo, you talking about the inspiration that ran through me? Like, I'm about to get me a trainer.
Get it together.
Like, I'm about to turn into Tisha Campbell.
She's giving the young girls a run for their money, for sure. And I also heard that Martin is coming back.
Yeah. When we talk about fashion and hip hop and everybody, like these shows also brought in the emergence of fashion too. Like, we got to watch, what you call a different world, Martin,
right.
So many different shows that came out,
Living Single, Queen Latifah was on there.
They had the Hip Hop magazine, like all these different, and there's new emergence, like even with the show today with Insecure, with Issa Rae, like all that bringing in the hip hop culture and stuff. Like, I'm so proud of how long we've been, holding this torch called hip hop.
Absolutely. We are very influential, especially that era between like the 80s and the 90s and the fashion that went on. So, Kim.
Yeah. I was gonna tell you about some, when we were talking about some people who got stores, like
I
went to Naughty's store yesterday.
My God.
Like, I love how they did that. I mean, not to the store, the online store. I'm an online shopper.
Right.
They have an online store, and it's like I just be so proud of when we can go into our stores and not just buy the nostalgia stuff, what I mean? But like just things that are just simply dope, because we continue to go to stores, buy things that look like, our style, whatever. But you can go into your latest hip hop store, fashion store that you like, and look into their stores. Naughty got a store. Yep. I like Dope Only. I like Diamond. I like certain, hip hop brands that emerged. There's so many vet products, and
absolutely
out there that, I like Notorious. Shout out to Tiana and Jan, Biggie's daughter. She got a store in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
There's so many other stores. Like, I can't, think of them all, but
there's a lot of people that have stores. Nas has Mass Appeal, and they have some clothing line that they have out there.
Don't talk about Nasir Jones.
He just, I'm still right. That was.
You talk about who
we're talking about. We're going to talk about that in the news segment, but absolutely shout out to Nas and Mass Appeal. So
Rich Knights came back like with a dope.
Lot of Wallabies.
Yeah,
came back. There's also, I just want to point something out as far as hip hop and fashion goes and all these t-shirts and these brands that we have. Right. Just make sure that you support them, because it kind of not upsets me, but I'm kind of like, when I see people that have on like rock and roll stuff, you know, because like you go to Forever 21 or you go to like,
they're never going to stop supporting and having those.
But you know, when we wear it though, it's like, I used to listen to Def Leppard. I used to listen to Van Halen. I used to listen to Bon Jovi. And sometimes when I could wear a t-shirt because I used to listen to them. But then I'm like, I see somebody that's like 12 or 13 and it's like, why is that your thing that you look up to? Because it's a cool shirt. Right. So, I would implore everyone that is involved in designing and branding
maximize your brand.
Maximize your brand. Don't just have t-shirts. Don't just have men's shirts. No. Have like fashionable things. Because I love hip hop, and if anybody's gonna support, it's definitely gonna be us. And if I go in, I got a box t-shirt on, like it's not gonna fit my shape, and I'm gonna end up looking crazy. Right. So that's something that everyone should look into. That's something that
we're always watching these people, like how they have like the red carpet and they say, what's that, fashion police, and they're like, judging their people on what they're wearing to these galas and stuff. But like we had the Grammys this weekend, and I know like I like Lala's style,
Lala has impeccable style. Like Mary has impeccable style.
First of all, shout out to Mary for the Walk of Fame.
Absolutely.
There's so many other artists that she's stands next to it, that Ice Cube got to walk of fame, Will Smith got to walk of fame. Puffy we've crossed over into these places, And I just thought that was just incredible for her, because it's like this girl is like Yonkers, like hip hop, like this place that's supposed to be for the outstanding and the extraordinary. What it stands for, and Mary got one. I was just like, I felt like it was mine. And like my cousin got an award.
I know, right? Because I feel like I grew up with Mary. Word. I used to see her in the tunnel all the time, and then it just comes from such a different place. And hip hop is growing up, and it's just not going to change. We're going to continue to be in the forefront of fashion, in the forefront of music, in the forefront of business. Yeah. So we're not going anywhere. So just to watch everybody.
Like if you were really looking at somebody fashionably today, like how
Mary, Misa.
Right. Oh, Misa Hilton, like.
Yeah.
When you can style from then and you still style them today, because they talked about how June Remy was styling back then. Oh no, June is she's at the hierarchy of fashion, like. And straight up,
Remy Ma is absolutely.
Do you see the transformation of Remy Ma?
Who's styling her now?
I'm hoping it's Misa. I'm hoping she just took her to a different space, but I don't even know, because she started out. I think
it is Misa.
From Misa,
but
and I hope that
she looks amazing.
Because it wouldn't, I feel like if Misa did that before, I hope you stayed with her and then she followed into the emergence of who you are today, because she is killing it.
She absolutely is.
She is killing it.
She absolutely is. So, going from the beginning. Some of the fashion icons, from the 80s, and some of the style, like LL with the Kangol.
Right.
Grand Puba Polo.
Right.
The black nationalism movement was a big thing in the 80s and in the early 90s, and like Queen Latifah and the Jungle Brothers and their whole crew, they used to just wear like medallions. That was a big thing.
Yeah, trends. Like those were the trends. You know what I mean?
That was a fashion trend.
Those trends come back, and it's the pendulum. 1 minute they're over here, but they're still here. Like people say, oh, skinny jeans. No, we wore skinny jeans. They were lead jeans. We used to sew them up on the sides. You know what I mean?
Right.
Down the leg. You used to have to pull your leg inside of them, and then the thread used to come out. So you used to have to rethread them with them on your body.
Right.
Like we made our own skinny jeans. So skinny. I don't knock people say, oh, they wearing skinny jeans. Like no, we wore those.
Right. Because if you think about it, okay, so initially, Melly Mel, the Furious Five, they dressed like rock stars.
Word.
They dressed like rock stars and African kings, because before them there were no hip hop people to look up to as far as fashion goes, until Run DMC came out with My Adidas, and they were the first ones to get an endorsement deal.
Yeah, My Adidas leather suits. Yep.
But it wasn't until after they had gone on tour and somebody from the Adidas company was at their show in 1986. They went to someone that worked at Adidas, an Adidas executive, went to a Run DMC show at Madison Square Garden and saw the My Adidas movement.
Right.
And
they saw the fans with Adidas around their necks, not even on their feet. I mean, also on their feet, but around their neck. Like
Adidas
jewelry.
had no idea. This is how culturally ignorant people were, and this is the time that I grew up in. Like it was like executives of these companies were so culturally ignorant and so deaf to what hip hop was doing that they didn't have any idea that these guys were going around the world promoting their product. And it took them years to come back and finally offer them the millions of dollars that they deserved for their Adidas endorsement. And it's just gone on from there. Since then, Adidas has given endorsement deals to Missy, Kanye,
But it sparked the emergence of other companies
Absolutely.
being able to see
to follow suit.
Our selling power.
Our power.
You know what I mean? Like when 50 came in with G-Unit sneakers, that wasn't like a dope. Reebok was like to the side.
Oh yeah,
we were wearing
the
5411s as females, but exactly we weren't like, oh, let's go get us a pair of Reeboks. But then he came in and it was G Unit, who brought it back and said, okay, we're gonna go buy these because of that. So we have to definitely, say that if we're so instrumental in this hip hop
absolutely
culture of how we drive this. So if Polo got a suit and we're wearing it, it's because look at the whole low life movement. Like the low life movement started from some kids and
boosters.
Exactly. Exactly. And they were wearing Polo. You know what I mean? And they was taking Ralph Lauren. And this movement has gone so it's just so big today. Like we watch these jackets are 3,000, 8,000.
Right.
Vintage.
And they know who to put it on.
Yeah,
I mean, look at
buys it. Right. For like his video shoot, let alone not even owning certain pieces, but they loan certain pieces out because they're not trying to sell their low life pieces.
Right. Because these companies now they recognize how influential
Absolutely.
a 50 Cent or a Jay-Z wearing their stuff. I mean, Jay-Z has brought up a whole basketball team, a whole city.
Right.
I mean, just because his basically is because
Lugs?
their swag. Oh,
my brother was the first artist to wear lugs. You know what I mean? And then they made the lug shoe for Funk Master Flex and all that. I'm like,
I remember
we
that.
had so many lugs. They were some hard. I was lugged
They were like
out.
fake.
I had sandals, boots, shoes. They came for free. They
were like
and
fake
I was like,
Timbs though.
Yo, word up. One day we was there was a spot out here called Run and Shoot. They still got Run and Shoot. I don't even remember in Atlanta.
I have no idea.
There was a spot called Run and Shoot. Everybody went to Run and Shoot. It was the place where you went to like play basketball at. So you remember it? So yeah, Run and Shoot was dope. So this dude was on the court with some lugs on, and Keith just calls him out across the. He's like, "Yo, you got on lugs." I mean, I'm like, why would you say that? Like, it wasn't bad for him to have them on, but at the time, like you said, it was like a fake Tim.
They were like fake Tims. They were just not cute to me.
But it wasn't. Remember Johnny Blaze? Like everything that they were saying, it was naming these clothes out of the things that we were saying and then selling them.
But what about how Bad Boy?
What?
I mean,
I go to there's some stuff in Macy's right now, the Notorious line. I got a Bad Boy jacket. People think I'm down with them, but it's just a dope ass little vinyl jacket.
I like the Bad Boy clothes. Yeah. But just how like Lil' Kim, Biggie, all of the Bad Boy artists. Kim. I mean, she screamed Versace.
Yesterday, today, they made. I mean, she was so good friends with what's her name, Isaac Gianni. Like they made clothes for her.
Donatella Versace, and,
one of her good friends,
one of her really good friends, Kimberly Jones, Lil' Kim.
Word.
She at one
Another
point,
Kim, the greats.
She at one
Your name
point,
is Kim, you great.
She was at one point had more magazine deals than the supermodels did.
Kim was at the emergence where Kim could have had anything and done anything. I don't know what happened. But for her to come back.
Well, she went to jail. That was one thing that happened.
True that. And she made a dope behind album before she went in. I don't even know why, but I thought it was really dope. Because everybody was thinking that Kim wasn't going to be able to write once Biggie passed away. And like it was so much, ghost writing going on. People not saying female MCs could write. So when Kim came in, but her fashion sense was incredible then. And I still like her style today.
She's petite, yeah. And you could pretty much could put anything on her. Yeah. But she's definitely
she came out with that little one
a fashion icon. Yeah. What was that at the Grammys or the
Diana Ross touched a little anyway, it was dope.
Yeah.
It was dope.
Yeah. So
when we come back, we just need to take a break. We gotta come back.
When we come back, we're going to talk current events in West Hippoppington.
What's popping? What's popping? What current events? What's going on with hip hop?
Yeah,
where they at? What's going on?
Everyone that's our
we come back with what's popping with Kim.
Yep, with Kim. We'll be right back. With the KYM, not the KIM. The KYM and not the KIM.
All right.
All right, guys, we're back. We'll continue talking about fashion.
Yeah.
In the hip hop.
I noticed I got my Hippoppington all over my book, but this is actually my composition notebook. So this is so nostalgic for word. Just let y'all know.
So another movement in hip hop fashion was NWA with their Dickies and Lokes. That was a LA thing.
Snoop. Yeah. I really feel like we came in and we continue to have these fashion trends that no one else set. It's not about wearing somebody else's label, but they actually came in and set these trends on their own.
Right.
And was wearing their own stuff and putting, designs to their own style, and making their own jackets. So when he came in with all his, even though it was, he had his blue on, but he had a clothing line, and he put all his patches and stuff on.
Snoop had a clothing line. Eminem had a clothing line at one point. And then when everyone started getting their own thing, FUBU emerged with their own design, which was just based on the culture, period. So they just put their name on it for us, by us. Cross Colors. Cross Colors was kind of a play on, like, would you say crisscross? Like how they wore their clothes backwards and baggy, and so they came out with...
Yeah. Well, it had like color blocking on them clothes.
Blocking.
But it also had a lot of messages inside the clothes that they would present, which was like, like you say,
positive messages. And we see that style now coming out in Cardi B and what's his name's video?
Bruno Mars. They took a spin on it. It looks like what is it? Parents Don't Understand, and something else going merged together.
It's crazy. Yeah, TLC, like TLC. Yeah. I mean, if you look at all those videos, like,
but look, what we're really saying is, look how we were able to just come out and be creatively embrace our own fashion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like we're still doing those things. You know what I mean? While we also now boxed in to go over there and just rock, the double G's. You know what I mean? Like, I just love the emergence of who we are as a culture, and I want us to continue to just keep opening ourselves to creating product that we've done throughout, what I mean? And that's what these vets definitely, do and have inspired and continue to bring to the table.
Right.
That's why I will always shop vet, and I will always look to see what they have, because, they're doing their own things.
Right, and support them, because, that's how we're going to keep the money in black business and in our community. And like I said, like, you might see a rock and roll shirt, but go buy a hip hop shirt, or I mean, unless you really just listen to rock and roll or whatever. But there are so many beautiful black women that can be on a shirt. Like, why is everyone running to the Marilyn Monroe shirt? Yeah. Like, I just never understood that.
I feel like because it's in stores, they made sure it was marketable. They're gonna make sure that their veterans and their icons continue to be in the face of what it is. We have to do the same for ours. You know what I mean? We have to make these deals. We have to make sure, because we're such an influential, in this fashion world and industry. So it's like we have to collect ownership and go, no, we want to be. I want to see Mary next to Marilyn, or I want to see, whoever that may be. We have to understand that we brought a lot of money into this culture.
We absolutely did.
Culture.
We absolutely did.
We're only 40 years old.
I would be interested in knowing how, at one point, whenever, like, say in the 90s, when Bad Boy was really, really, really getting kicked off, and they were always shouting all those name brands in their songs with no endorsement.
Right.
With no endorsement.
Yeah.
It took them years to get even recognized, or to be...
But we've done that, which is why, rest in peace, but shout out to Chris Lighty, when he was doing that Kabasi, it was like, he already recognized the fact that, listen, I know this is going to be hot. I got a dope artist, you know what I mean? He's got a huge following. We're about to, launch a record that's, talking about your product, let's make a deal.
Right.
Let's make a deal. Look at what's her name. I saw what's Kris Jenner. What she was, she has a little bow, using the bathroom, and she was like, I'm going to call Posies first. And tell them I got a little problem so I can get a check from Posey. Like, yes, we gotta do the same things.
Right.
Or take it out. Either support us or we going.
Right.
Or we have to create our own.
Right. Well, we definitely should be creating our own at this point. We have more money than we ever had. We have more ways to connect with each other than we ever had. So that's just an idea that I have, and I think we should just keep it going, because hip hop has past rock and roll as the most popular genre,
and we have our own outlets to show it on. We're on the movie scenes with these other people, you know what I mean? So it's not like we're just having our own little boxed in, aspect of it. Like, I think that they talked about Jay-Z getting snubbed at the Grammys, and I'm like, no, Jay actually had his own platform to bring out his own record, you know what I mean? And he in his title. So of course they were looking like, well, we didn't get what we needed from that because you did it all on your own.
Right.
So we're not gonna, recognize you for that. But at the end of the day, why are we still going to the Grammys to feel like we've done it?
Well,
because we don't have one. BET Awards is not one. Anything that's just all black is not one. We have to make our own Grammys where we also make. Look how many categories the Grammys have.
So why don't they have the title awards?
Yeah, but that's what it should be. But again, you have to have the mindset to govern that and go check this out. And maybe he will. Maybe this has started an emergence for him. We don't know, to say, listen, we're gonna build something that just like that.
Right.
And we're going to create all these so many categories in the Grammys, you have no idea what they are, but they've created them. Why? So that people can get awards.
Absolutely.
And when you got a Grammy, it equates to money.
And when you have Beyonce, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. So let's make our own Grammys, and I want some awards called, the shoe shine for, you know what I mean? Like, they make up. I saw some categories. I was like, what is that?
Right.
What is that? Like, they just make up whatever, just so they can make sure their peoples have what they need.
And so shout out to Dave Chappelle for recognizing A Tribe Called Quest at the Grammys, because I think that was a snub for them not to even have been nominated. Their album did really, really well, and it was really, 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 really good. So
But I appreciate that too. Like even when we talking about hip hop, when you're just wearing a pair of jeans and some Timbs and stepping on the stage,
that's hip hop.
That's hip hop. You know what I mean? Like when you're just coming out there and you're not trying to be in your dressed up suit and tie to conform to what they doing. That's you're like, hip-hop. No, I am hip hop. Hip hop is a way of life. It's how we dress. It's how we walk. It's how we talk.
It's a culture.
It's a culture. So when we see these artists and all walks of, when I watch movies and stuff, and I'm like, not just movies that's like Who's the Man or whatever. My brother, like, he's done a lot of soundtracks for movies, whatever. But I'm like, one day I was outside of Manhattan. It was like, I think it was like what's the Fifth Monkeys? I can't think of the movie, but it was like a big head picture of him. I'm like, Mom, but I didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? Why was it? Because I'm not, privy. I was in the Juice movie when I went in to see the movies. Didn't even know he was in it. And I'm in there sitting down. They like, it's a battle, and DJ Scratch is gonna be there. And I'm like, oh, because you just don't.
So do they when they do stuff like that though? So do they tell him or?
Yeah, they're in the movies, but I mean his career was going so fast. I had no idea they was doing so much stuff. But what I mean to say back in fashion is that when we watch these people being hip hop, in these movies like Allen Iverson, hip hop. You know what I mean? Oh man, like they changed.
Allen Iverson brought hip hop to the NBA.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, Stuart Scott. Yeah. Jalen Rose too.
Yeah, Jalen Rose. Like that's what I mean. Like I love to see this emergence of hip hop, and we're showing it in a way where we're not talking hip hop. We're just looking hip hop, so it's just an automatic.
And a lot of times you don't see how influential hip hop is because it's kind of like we're in it. But if you go overseas, they have such a huge appreciation for us. Like
always.
Elliot, shout out to Elliot Ellis Sensei from the Artifacts. Right. Him in the group with my brother. They did a commercial for McDonald's.
Right.
And like no one would even know that here, but overseas they're doing big numbers.
They've always done big numbers. Yeah. When that whole thing happened with 50 Cent and Ja Rule is a king. He's Michael Jackson overseas. So it's like we stopped looking at him here because 50 kind of tried to crush his career here, but over there he was still Michael Jackson.
Right.
The one thing about these hip hop artists when they're not touring over here, they're always touring overseas.
Absolutely.
Always. My brother and them they go overseas twice a year. they're always touring overseas. Overseas is all I mean, and it's the same markets. They just like rock and roll stars go out every year and they have that, like, what do you call Ozfest or something like that.
Absolutely.
These tours represent overseas. They're not represented here,
but they should be. And I really think that promoters should tap into the wealth that is the classic hip hop movement.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you would just get so much money out of it. And I think that they're saying that you really don't. But if it's done right, you absolutely can. If it's done professionally, in advance, you get the right people on board and just put it together. I'm telling you,
I think
we need to bring it back.
Because they keep inviting us into these places where everybody's at. So it's like, if we're so has-been, then they were at the Grammys this year. They performed.
Once they see, I think that what we're starting to see now is how influential that just specific era of hip hop is, because when you see Cardi and you see Bruno Mars and you see Tisha Campbell coming back and you see how everyone is using that feel good kind of like vibe, is coming back in a powerful way. And I think that when people start to inquire about
balance,
where
I'm
that
cool
came
with
from, then they're gonna have to be brought back.
That's balance. I just want to shout out to some people who doing their thing in hip hop. I don't know if you guys know, but Noblewood Harris.
Yeah.
He played in he was Avon Barksdale in The Wire. He was on The Breaks, Creed.
Who?
Yeah. He played Ace and AZ.
Oh, Ace Boogie.
Yes. I paid it full. Yeah. And he was AZ on so I call him the underground Denzel. He laughs about it, but I'm like, yo,
he was a rapper.
But he's a rapper today.
Yeah.
So they have a new project out. I believe it's FSX is the project. But he also he's going around doing pop-up shops because he also has some. Well, he was in Chicago this weekend, and that was like his first time coming out with his crew, the FSX crew. Shout out to them. And he's doing some pop-up shops for his merchandise and stuff. But I just want to, say stuff like, people like him, Lorenz, those who came in and reflected hip-hop even when they was just doing what they was doing. Yeah, word. You know what I mean? Because they was still who they were, and doing and making sure they represented us, you know what I mean, and the culture by how they walk, talk, dress, and taking on them roles and those parts, you know what I mean? Because somebody has to do the roles. We can have the idea, but somebody got to play these roles, and actually bring them to life, and we can relate and go, wow, yeah, I like him, you know what I mean? Like I like Avon Barksdale, like what? Like he didn't have to do nothing else for me. Right. But and he's continuing to work. He did Creed. I think he's got a new movie coming out. He did The Breaks. What's that show that came on TV that was so? The Get Down. I love
man. I was so mad that they discontinued that show.
But again, look how many shows you know what happens when we bring out some really, really good stuff? They get afraid. Because we dope and they know it. Yes, it was. To me, it was like the greatest depiction of how the
absolutely
hip hop began.
That was,
and I'm like, we need to. This should be in a class in a school.
That was the most accurate depiction I have ever seen.
Yes, that's what I mean. The Get Down was
the Get Down. Yeah,
the Get Down. The breaks was cool, but the Get Down was the most accurate depiction of hip hop and where it came from and where it was at.
That was it.
What?
That was it.
They explained the break. The Get Down is where the break. I was at home like,
oh
my
goosebumps.
God.
I got goosebumps right now.
But then to watch the clothing and the jackets and the, with our names on the back.
Because it started off like in the beginning and when they would be like going to the parties and stuff, they would have on like disco clothes.
It
So that was
But it was so fashion forward because what it was saying was look at me. You know what I mean? So when Puffy came in and June decided to make those jackets and stuff, it was really back to that, from where we started from, to say, we're flashy people, you know what I mean? Take a look at us, and we're not just baggy jeans, and Tim boots. We're a culture that evolves. So I don't want to be boxed in. I was a Tim boot, hoodie girl, but I'm also, a high heel, shoes and dress type of girl. I'm still hip hop.
What happened was like back in like the 80s, Isaac Mizrahi and the big fashion houses started showing like gold chains. And Chanel had like gold chains and ropes in their fashion shows
names on them.
with their names on them. So they kind of like stole it from us, actually. No, and then when you get back, so when you get back to the
nameplate,
right? When you get back to it, the nameplate
belts. Mine said Kim, yours said Kim, or said little K, and then today they got the double G's or the double F's.
But see, when Madonna put it on and it said boy toy, you know what I mean? That was like the first cultural appropriation I witnessed in my lifetime. She got a nameplate. It said boy toy on it.
Look at the Tim boots. Remember when the Tim boots was like $70 to $90 all day? Then they Kardashians put them on there $170 and $180. It's like no. I need my constructions, my 40 belows. I need my checkers, to be what they was.
Yeah, that's how they do. Yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into our next segment.
We're gonna take a break.
Let's take a break.
Somebody's
on our live. The Get Down was dope. I get better as it went along. Wisdom since 70.
All right, yeah. We'll come back with some who's on our live and what's next.
Yep. We're back, and
it's Kim and Kim with Hippoppington. We back.
Hippoppington with Kim and Kim. I just wanted to touch on something really quick about fashion.
Yeah.
The female fashion and how it's evolved from. If you look at like TLC, baggy clothes. Yeah. If you look at Queen Latifah, she was very.
It was covered up back then. Let's just say that.
I mean, being covered up and being like ladylike was a thing.
Right.
You would never believe this, but at one point in hip hop, Brand Nubian says, "Slow down."
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody at one point was promoting like the black family, black womanhood, and how precious our bodies are. So since it has changed, as you can see, and I think that was ushered in by the competition. I think Lil Kim, before the strip club, Lil Kim and Foxy Brown was having a little bit of a competition, and that forced them to get a little more naked.
We were individual. We were more individualized. And when you say, "Oh, okay, I like that. That's selling." They say sex sells, and now everybody wants to go over there and do the sex sell thing. But we still could have done it differently because honestly, Roxanne Shante, you know what I mean, was pretty much the first. She was on the cover of her album, with a negligee on, and some shoes. So it's like, if sexy, we're gonna go back to who brought the sexy in, and still made it elegant and still made it, not.
Well, I think when Lil Kim brought it in, when I first heard hardcore, my jaw was on the ground. I mean, that was like, it was dope, but I was like, I couldn't believe she was saying those things. Those conversations was happening behind the scenes all day.
Right.
But for her to bring it to her music, but I think that's also because of her relationship with Biggie. Right? And so it was kind of like him showing off his chick, right? And what she does to him in the bedroom and what she's capable of. So it was kind of like him putting her out there.
But like we said, we go back to how Kim came in, even with her clothes on and stuff, like all the hair color. I mean, when I was in school, and the white kids, not I love white people, but not when I was in school, they would have like the spray hairs, you know what I mean? And they were like the real rock kids. So it's like, well, what y'all got that purple and blue and stuff? Now we got our hair pink, blue. So it's like, that we take that that from them. You know what I mean?
No,
but
I think Lil' Kim actually started that, and I love that ode to Lil' Kim that Beyonce.
Oh, that was beautiful because everybody wearing these hair colors and stuff. It's like, no, but that looks cute on y'all, and yeah, we have lace fronts now. But that wasn't then. Lil' Kim was really just doing what she.
Lil' Kim actually used to wear knockoff stuff in the beginning. They used to wear Canal Street Chanel stuff in the beginning.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I've been on Canal Street plenty of times.
Me too.
I used to sell
bags back out there. Shoot, I'll go get.
You can find them. All you gotta do is be like,
usher you to some.
You don't remember when they used to have the pictures out, and after they got locked up, they used to have pictures like,
you usher me.
Which direction should I go in?
So, okay, Wisdom Since 70 on our live says, Salt and Pepper was the bridge from the Afrocentric to the ultra sexy era. I agree.
I love that.
I agree.
I love that.
I agree.
That.
Salt and Pepper brought the sexy.
They haircuts, like, that's old fashioned. Like, who didn't get their haircut like Salt and Pepper?
Well, I didn't because my parents wouldn't let me shave my head, but I would absolutely love to wear that haircut.
I love, even Light had the first little asymmetric bob with the shag coming down, like. Yeah,
asymmetric bob was me all day. The bamboo earrings was me all day. Those are coming back. I saw Kim Kardashian with some bamboo earrings on the other day.
Bamboo that's what I say. It's a pendulum. All that's here. The bamboo earrings is here. You know, everything that we once saw before is going to come back in fashion today. We just want the credit for it. That's all.
Right. So, Salt and Pepper, going back to them, I think that they had a very influential song with Let's Talk About Sex. And that seems crazy now because everything that everyone says is about like sex, and they don't say it in a respectful way.
Such a great way.
But they did it in such a classy way. And I think that that's what's lost now.
Because it was a conversation. And
it was a
conversation. Be able to take that conversation and you know, digest that conversation. Today it's like, what are y'all talking about? Like, okay, well.
I mean, there's no, mystery to it. It's just like everything is out there. And I think that that's going to stop soon. I think all of that is going to come to an end because you get tired of it. Right. But men, it's going to be up to you. I promise.
I see so many people at Daniel's Leather. Daniel's Leather is in Manhattan. It's on Orchard Street. Is it on Orchard? Yeah, it's on Orchard. I remember going there when I was younger and buying my first little mink jacket. Like, I
remember going to Delancey Street getting leathers.
That's where it is.
Oh, Orchard and Delancey. Yeah, that was where it was, right?
But Daniel's Leather's on the corner of Orchard. I believe it's Orchard. And he had, I had a purple Sherlin to the floor. So, Sherlins is like, these are nostalgic things in fashion that's never going to leave for us as a culture. Sherlins and sheepskins are, never going. Leather bombers, never going. You know what I mean? It's never like wearing Nikes and Timbs. They're never going. These are things that we as hip hop brought in, and we don't care how old or how outdated you think they are. They always going to be fresh for us. Yep. We're always going to make them look fresh.
Yep. So, we're going to move to our next segment.
What's that?
The news.
Oh, the news.
What's Poppington?
We're going to get back with What's Poppington?
Yeah.
All right. Because I got to take a little tinkle break. So.
All right.
When we get back, we're going to come back with
What's Poppington. We'll talk to the news.
We want to thank y'all for keeping tuned in to What's Poppington with Kim and Kim and the Krizoo. We can't be telling them we're going in the segments. We got to say we're coming back.
What's up, y'all? This is Kimmy Coco, and this is What's Poppington, where I bring you the latest information on what's going on with our classic hip-hop artists. So, let's begin. First, we have Jay-Z, Sean Carter. He has filed legal documents to have the Roc Nation symbol patented and trademarked. So, before it's done, I'm going to do this before I can't do that anymore. So, Jehovah's Witnesses, you guys will have your symbol, and it'll be trademarked and patented. Okay. Suge Knight's girlfriend, his fiance, has been sentenced to 3 years in jail. She broke the law by giving an interview to Donaghy when he is only allowed to be in correspondence with his attorney. Toy Lynn Kelly, that's her name, she violated the order by setting up an interview for Donaghy and her partner with the former Death Row Records CEO. So she's going to jail for helping out her fiance, who's already in jail. Prosecutors maintain that Suge, his lawyer, Matthew Fletcher, and Kelly conspired to leak the file video for $55,000. So when being a ride or die chick goes wrong, because she knew not to do that, but apparently Suge Knight has some sort of manipulation power over these women. If you saw that movie with Michelle A., you will know what I'm talking about. Next story. My boy is back in jail. DMX is going back to jail for violating his probation. He apparently is considered a flight risk after testing positive for opiates, cocaine, and oxycodone. So he has definitely gotten off track with his drug addiction, and I just pray that he gets better, because X, we need you out here. I mean, I really love DMX. He has something inside of him that God wants to use. You know, he preaches and he prays. He is such a powerful person, and I hope that he holds on to his faith wherever he's at. I just pray that he keeps praying and he gets delivered from his addiction, because once he gets out of this addiction, he is going to bring thousands and millions of people to the Lord. I know he will. So we're going to keep on praying for X. So there was a picture on Instagram of Talib Kweli, Yasin Bey, and Kanye West, which sparked rumors that they may be working on a project. And we hope so, because in October, they did 3 Halloween shows as Black Star, and we love Black Star. So we would love to see them working with Kanye West with some dope production, some crazy lyrics, and some real hip hop back in the building. So we're going to go on the social media and we're going to tell them that we need this to happen. Even if it wasn't going to happen, we're going to support them and make it happen, right? Right. All right. So Ghostface Killah posted a teaser on Instagram saying to go to his website and to register at his website because he has some special information for us. So, of course, I did that, and I have yet to receive my email. But if I may speculate, I think that he's going to be working on something and giving out, it says he's going to be giving out free stuff. So, Ghostface, when you get your website up and running, please make sure that we all receive our stuff, because I was reading in the comments on your post and some people were complaining that they never got their stuff from before, and we don't want that to happen. But I think that he's going to be working on stuff. This is something that people have been doing, and I think it's a great idea. It drives traffic to your website. Instead of driving traffic to all these other people's website, you put your stuff on your own website, and you make sure that you get not only the viewerships, but you get the sponsorship. And also, you keep everyone entertained and you give all their stuff. And you also remember to support Eric Sermon and his Kickstarter that he has. And if you go to Kickstarter, you will definitely just look up his name and you'll find it. And I think there are 2 weeks left to this campaign, so make sure you support it. He's starting his own label. He's making a new album. There's a whole bunch of people that you want to get that are going to be on there, Ghostface being one of them, Pharrell Williams, Big Crit, and a couple of other artists. So this has been Hippoppington, What's Poppington with Kim, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, everybody. This is Dear Hip Hop, an open letter. This is where people write in with questions as if hip hop was a person and they're alive, because they are. So Michaela from Carolina writes in, Dear Hip Hop, my husband is 37 years old and he still wants to be a rapper, but he doesn't have a job. I don't know what to do. That's a tough one, Michaela. So I'm just going to say, if he's really dope and you think he has potential to get on, you know what I mean, continue to support his career, but he definitely has to bring in some income. A lot of artists feel like, they just, I'm being a hip hop artist, but it doesn't matter. You still have to be able to, take care of your family or yourself, not just wait on a career. But I don't want to give just my advice. I want you guys to write into hippoppington.com, Dear Hip Hop, an open letter, and help Michaela out with some, more advice than what I got to offer. Because, I would just say, bye, boy. You're 37, you're 39, and you ain't got no job. You can rap where you want to rap, but where the paper at? And that concludes Dear Hip Hop, an open letter. Good night.